What's up, you guys? We're here today with Anthony from SoCal Homes. He's the founder of his company. He's been in real estate for a few years. He's a buddy of mine, and we're also partners in our wholesaling business called SoCal Development Group. He's a co-founder with me together, and today we're at his place filming here today about passive income in real estate, guys. Go ahead and check out Anthony's YouTube channel and Instagram. What do you put in your YouTube?
So basically just, creative financing options, how to raise capital and how to fund deals, create deals, and make it a win-win for you and all the people that invest in your vision.
I personally learned a lot from you as well, and we do vice versa. It's like a symbiotic relationship. And so go ahead, guys, follow his channel. There's gonna be different content, and we're always learning from other people. That's the mindset we have here. And also, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and the notification button, because we're gonna be coming out with new content every week, guys. So give us a real quick update on what do you do, how do you get into real estate, and when did you start, how many deals do you have?
So I've been in real estate for about almost 4.5, 5 years now. We started in one niche only, and we started in the flipping niche here in Los Angeles. So high age market, very high price points, very large projects, and you have to hit those projects on point, right, to get that high dollar. You know that of all. We partner up on some deals, so that's right. So flipping was what we got into. 3.5 years into it, we finally started doing a little bit more of commercial. We started doing more buy and hold for that passive income. And then we started jumping into the Airbnb space, or like others like to say, the BNB, right? Because it's not only just Airbnb, right? There's a ton of other platforms that you use to leverage your bed and breakfast.
And how many deals have you guys done today?
So we've done about 28 deals.
That's awesome.
Now,
that's amazing.
So we've done quite a bit now, but mostly now the last maybe 7 or 8 transactions have all been buy and hold, mostly.
Awesome.
So we're excited about that, just building out the portfolio out of state and going for those larger multi-units.
How much do you hold right now in passive income?
It's really hard to quantify because our bed and breakfast, our short-term rental, we have only 2, but in major key markets. And one is making like probably $12,000 a month, and then the other one is making about $10,000 a month. So just those 2 alone are making amazing returns, and it's something that we decided we were gonna flip at first, but then I decided, you know what, let me hold it. There's enough equity to pay our client investors, and keep the payment low enough and still cash flow on it greatly. And then we have 5 other properties that we do cash flow, which is a mixed use of rentals and commercials. So all in all, we're probably doing about 30 grand a month, and all of those combined.
That's awesome.
Which is the short-term rental and the and our regular commercial and rental multi-unit apartments.
Right, and that's $30,000 in gross income. So that's all the rent you guys are collecting.
Correct, minus and then our
minus there you have taxes, costs, management fees, taxes. So maybe take home 15, more or less.
Something about 15,000 in 7 properties.
Yeah, that's awesome. This is the man that we're here. We're gonna talk about here. We're gonna transition into his specific Airbnb in Venice Beach, California, guys. About the Airbnb, it's in Venice, California. Is that it? Is that correct?
Correct. So it's Venice Beach, California, here in Los Angeles, and it's all coastal commission. So special hurdles, but I mean, it's a very popular beach city. So
that's interesting. So you're an Airbnb owner now, right?
Yeah.
And tell us how you came across this property and what were your thoughts about it? Is this what you expected to be? How was the rehab like? Give us a little information.
All right, so this deal actually was brought to us by our in-house guy. He's a real estate agent himself. He brought us that deal from an escrow that had failed prior on that property. So we came in, we picked it up. Needless to say, a rat infestation, the works, termite, rat infestation, all kinds of bad, just everything had to go. Nothing could be saved.
I see dollar signs though.
Yeah,
I see.
And then we saw it, and then that's the thing that comes on top of your head, right? Dollar signs. Total trash job. We walked the property. I instantly like it. We lock it in at the right price. start the rehab. You know, the rehab itself went relatively okay. We were able to pull off everything over the counter permits.
That's awesome.
And that's basically because we didn't change the structure of the property. The rehab itself was good 6 months. Total gut job. We did not save anything. Brand new everything, HVAC, rough plumbing, electrical, the works. And this one was actually at the right place at the right time. Summer was the beginning of summer already. And so that's kind of where we decided, you know what, if I don't take a dive into this, you never will kind of mentality.
Right.
So we went right for it. It was fruitful. And now we're opening up our second and potentially our third one. And so it's kind of just how it happened, you know?
That's awesome. That's awesome. Doing construction myself, it could be very long and time consuming,
Right.
but I think you guys did a great job in 6 months, especially for Venice Beach. And I've seen the property and it's beautifully done from A to Z. What did you spend on the rehab? Like, so 6 months, and then what about like a ballpark?
Yeah,
number?
so the rehab came in about $230,000. Again, completely brand new everything. Nothing was saved. We demoed it down to the bones, down to the studs, and then we put everything in. So about 230, give or take. High price point. I mean, the property appraised at 1.9.
Wow.
Okay, we picked it up for
1.9 million, guys.
Yeah, 1.9 million, guys.
That's
Sorry.
Venice Beach, California. 1.9
Yeah.
million.
We picked it up for 1.2, and then we put in the rehab. It appraised. We went ahead and only pulled out the equity to pay back our esteemed lenders, our hard money lender that we have a great relationship with. Everyone got paid back, and to us that's always our primary goal: pay everybody back their terms.
Absolutely.
And then close them out.
So they will work with you again.
And they would want to be coming back again. And so we funded everything. We left the equity in there. We didn't pull out any additional cash to keep the payment nice and low.
Nice.
Right, guys? That's the key there to rentals, right? Keep the payment as low as possible. But, 1.2 million, 200K rehab. We're probably holding costs, interest. We're probably in it for about 1.55.
Awesome.
And it appraised at 1.9. So
1.9, $400,000 spread.
Yeah.
So use creative short-term financing for hard money and also some other investors as well. Excellent. So leveraging other people's money, guys. I know a lot of people out there like, how do I start this business? I don't have money, but here's the proof in the pudding, guys.
I didn't put $1 into that
Didn't
deal.
even put $1 in it. That's amazing, guys. So that's how you can be creative in your financing for starting your first fix and flip or any of your fix and flips. It's not how much money you have, but how much can you raise. So what were your expectations running an Airbnb? This was your first Airbnb, correct?
Yeah, so it was.
How did that go?
It's a super learning experience.
Everything.
I'm really good at extracting people's expertise and best traits. So right away, I knew that I'm an extremely busy guy. There's no way I'm gonna be able to go hands in hand inside that Airbnb and manage it day to day. So right away, I got the help of my sister. We kind of have a family business, so I try to bring in my siblings wherever I can to the best of their ability. So she already did our property management for our rental, and so I went ahead and gave her this. We went ahead and staged it, launched it. We took about a month to get it right, and then we launched it about the 4th week. Of staging it out and buying everything, and it just took off like hot tamales, man. It was insane how much bookings there was.
What time was it? Was it in summer, winter, spring?
We were June,
like so peak of summer.
Pick up summer, yeah. So I mean, right the first month it made 10 grand, and the following month it made another 12, and right now it's at about 8.
That's
and the
awesome.
month's not even over yet. So yeah, we're 3 months into it, and each month's consecutive, and then all the months ahead are already like filled up well into the spring.
That's awesome.
So it's insane, man. It's insane. If you pull off something with quality, you and I know quality work when you see it. So the rehab itself came out beautiful. Everyone just dies about the rehab, how well it looks. Plus my sister's, furnishings and that touch. It's amazing. So I think that's really what we do. It's that customer service. My sister's always replying back fast. You know, we're always at 4.98 stars.
Wow.
And so we're always reaching to be the best Airbnb in that pocket of Venice Beach, which is by Abercrombie.
Was it difficult for you from getting from 0 reviews to where you are now? And then
yeah, that's the tricky part. So, you know, at first you're not gonna come out on the first page, right? You're gonna come out somewhere later in the 3rd, 4th, 5th page as the beginner. And as you get more and more reviews, top reviews, 5-star reviews, you start making your way more and more to the prime pages of the first 10 listings or whatnot. So I think it's very key to be I was pretty involved at the beginning, just making sure that everybody was in and out smooth. The check-in process was great. Once I started seeing more and more consistency on the reviews and the bookings, I kind of started stepping away. And now it just basically runs itself.
At a certain point in your career, you have to leverage other people's time and scale your business. So that's excellent. I think some of the things that I come to my mind is like, so the property wasn't staged and you put furniture in there. How much did you guys spend on furniture when you started this?
Right, so I'm gonna tell everybody off the bat, nothing that's gonna be cheap about it. You can't be cheap about it. You can't go all out on the IKEA.
Sounds like
mattresses, I know, sounds like
sounds like no shortcuts in life.
Yeah. So the beds is probably the most important. The mattress,
Quality
we bought
bed,
all memory gel foam mattresses.
Wow.
We went the extra mile. Now, we set a budget of 10,000. It's a relatively small house.
Yeah.
It's not anything big.
What's the bed and bath again?
It's 1150 square feet.
1150 square feet.
Tiny Spanish, the cutest Spanish home. We call it the Spanish Charmer in Abercrombie. Bedrooms in terms of beds is the most important. We spent an extra penny on the beds, and everyone just agrees that the sleep was the best they've ever had.
Yeah.
They love the memory gel foam mattresses we got. Things like that. So we set a budget of 10. We went over by 2K. That was kind of expected because there were certain things that we wanted to capture and get and absolutely could not be without. And so we threw that in there. So we went over about $2,000 over the budget. But I think everything in that Airbnb was essential. And sometimes you just have to go that extra mile.
Yeah, and then personally, I go and use Airbnbs myself, and when I go to a home that's well done, I appreciate a lot more, and I even want to go out of my way to even leave a good review and be like, oh, this was amazing. So I think that customer, really listening to what your customers want and also looking at what your competitors are doing is really important, because at the end of the day, this is a business and there is competition, right?
Correct.
So I think that's a great tip that you just shared. So what were some like learning experiences doing this, and like what would you do differently next time, or what would you do better?
I think 2 things that were 2 huge takeaways was urgency. We had too much urgency, and we just wanted to launch it as fast as possible, obviously, so it doesn't cut into my holding costs, right? We rushed it a little too much. So thankfully, I guess the first couple guests didn't mind the check-in process. We didn't have it, seamlessly with, the touch of an iPhone or the touch of a button or a keypad. We had a lockbox. Still, it's okay, but things like that, people noted, oh, I couldn't find the lockbox, or where was it? Even though you leave directions specifically where, but that's neither here or there. So, rushing it sometimes could be counterproductive. With us, it was just like, maybe it was a little too rushed. We could have waited. I think waiting that extra week that we rushed that week to to get everything, because we started getting bookings, and so we reached a point where there was no turning back. It had to go whether or not it was 100% finished. And so that's kind of the key metric there. You shouldn't rush it unless you absolutely have everything and you could do with some of the items without. But yeah, that was one thing. And another thing is smells, right? Scents. So our Airbnb was amazing the first couple, like, I'm gonna say 6 weeks. And then we've noticed that the cleaning people, the crew, forgot to leave the washer ajar a little bit so it dries out, air dries out. And
the moldy smell
came, and they were like, the first thing we were like, oh my God, the space is amazing. And then it was overwhelmed by the smell, and all they can remember now is the smell. And so, we got a little ding on that, but
how did you handle that situation? Did
you
give them a credit?
Yeah, we went ahead and gave them a credit. We apologized, and then we welcomed them back to the Airbnb with a preferred price. If we would have run out of the plugins, that would have been great and probably would have masked the smell a little bit. but that's how they smell, right? Their first impression when you open that door.
So important.
So and then also, you know, everyone likes charm. You can have the most modern house with all the bells and whistles, and you can have the most charm house. For some reason, people tend to remember charm. And the number one thing that people remember from our property is the 100-year-old door.
Oh yeah,
The
blue door.
The blue door.
Yeah.
That we kept, right? And so they say, man, the minute I pull up to that house, it's that blue door that feels inviting.
It actually sticks out. Like it really grabs your attention with the white and the blue door. I think that was a really good design choice.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's kind of memorable moments is what excites people to give them to give you a great review.
Positive customer experience is so important, and also listening to your clients is very important, because that's literally, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just listen to what your customers are looking for, and just what are their needs and what's their complaints, or what could be done differently or better. So that's really good insight. And I think to transition this off and bring this to an end is that I think everything that people were waiting for is, what are the numbers? Like, how much do you make?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the monthly cost for the interest, and how much is it generating monthly? And then your expenses, and what are you taking home?
All right, so on a typical month, let's just say right now we're ranging between 10 to 12 month, 10 to 12K gross a month on the Airbnb. Wow. Our mortgage for that $1 million loan is about 6,200.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. Roll it in with property taxes, everything. We're about almost 7. So let's just say 7 out of 10 to 12 a month. So that's property taxes, the mortgage, and the insurance. All that. Yeah. Let's just say 7K.
Management fees?
And then the management fees.
A little bit of management fees.
A little bit of management fees, and a little bit of utilities and all that stuff. So I'm going to say all in a month, my cost to run that Airbnb is about $7,300. And on the good months, we made a highest month, 13,000.
13,000.
So that's almost 14,000, which is almost double of what 7,000 is. So really it's in the execution. At the beginning, we were churning as more and more reviews were coming in. You're going up on the ranking. You become a super host, and you start getting booked more frequently. At first we were 33% occupancy rate. Then we jumped to 60, 70, 75, 80, and I think we're now like 89.
89. Wow.
So we're booked.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're booked maybe like out of a 31 day calendar, we're probably booked like maybe like 25 days. Wow. 26 days.
That's incredible.
And the only days are off is the days you can't book, because we don't take it's a 2-day minimum.
2-day minimum.
So usually those days are the ones that don't get booked.
Hey, so Anthony, what would you give some kind of tip to beginners, like to getting started in Airbnb? And also, can you talk about also how passive is it really? Like, is it completely passive, or do you have to get involved?
Yeah, that's actually a really great question. It's not passive if it's your first and you want to be involved in it and you want to do the ins and outs. I myself, you and I run one company, and then I run my own company, and then you run your own company.
That's right.
There's just not enough hours in the day to try to run an Airbnb, a full-blown Airbnb, mind you, not even a part-time Airbnb. It's like it's booked every day kind of Airbnb. So it's really involved.
Booking, texting back to the...
Yes, there's just no way you'd be able to do that if you have too much on your plate. So unless you expect to take a little less money in and your profit margin is up there, usually they'll say, you should be booking at least 2 to 3 times your overhead, which is your rent or your mortgage. Because after cost, you should be clearing X amount of money, right?
Okay.
And so a lot of people give different formulas, but for the most part, you need to be booking around 2 to 3 times your overhead.
Yeah.
And
so your monthly costs, all your interest, all your expenses, times
at
2
least
to 3.
At least 2. At least 2 for it to be worthwhile. Because if you're doing all this just to make a couple $100, you could probably do something the same,
totally different,
with less effort.
Drop shipping or something.
Yeah, exactly. The reason I did it is because I own the property, so my property is going to be appreciating whether or not the Airbnb is giving me tons of cash flow. Right. My main goal was keep it for a summer or 2 or 3, see what happens. If it becomes super fruitful, I'm gonna keep it forever. If it's too much trouble for me, then I'm gonna sell it and cash out my $400,000. So why wouldn't I? So I think there's something in it for me, at least. I own the property, it's still appreciating. Who knows, I may in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 years, the property may be worth, you know, way more, over 2 million. I can cash out then and
you could even refinance at that point. Go do another one.
Go ahead and just do the BRR method if you like.
That's right.
And then keep going. So there's just many options. But you know, arbitrage has its own set of guidelines, and being an Airbnb owner and operator is a different set of rules. So, you know, analyze your numbers well, see if it's worthwhile. If it's worthwhile in terms of what the value of your time is that you're spending on this, your value is met, then by all means, yes. That's right. I mean, that's the way to do it. You get involved. Me, you and I, you know, it's hard to do this at a high level.
That's right.
If you got a gazillion things going on. So I right away brought in the talent. I brought in the cleaning crew. I brought in my sister
to manage the property. So it's a little more automated.
It's a little more automated. Actually, I don't even deal with the day-to-day.
Yeah, the pictures, talking to the clients.
I don't deal with that. I just look at my bookings, the numbers, and if we're lagging somewhere, you know, I support, you know, my sister in it, so that way we.
So roughly, how many hours you put in a week? Maybe an hour or 2 hours?
I probably spend about an hour max, and that's just me, because I just the way I am. Every other morning, if not every morning, I look at the progress. And the progress.
You're a numbers guy.
My number guy. So I look at it and see where we are for the month. And then I'll send this to my sister or friend, hey, we're missing about 5 nights. Let's drop that rate, or
bump it up.
Put it into another platform, see if it gets booked on that platform. Awesome. I don't get bugged with plumbing calls. I don't get bugged with stuff like that. I don't clean the Airbnb myself. Now, don't get me wrong. You're gonna save a ton of money if you do it yourself, because you're collecting that cleaning fee. That if you're doing the cleaning yourself, by
like $100 every time.
Yeah, 100. I mean, our Airbnb is 140. You know,
140 every time you clean.
Every time you clean
for 2-3 hours.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's 2-3 hours worth your time to clean.
Right.
And a lot of people do it just to keep their overhead low, and I applaud them. If they have the time to do it, why wouldn't you? You're saving money.
All right, guys, that's a wrap to our passive income with Anthony from SoCal Homes, guys. I'm gonna put his link in the description below, so go ahead and check out his YouTube channel and Instagram. It's gonna be a lot of information, just like you guys saw today. And if you guys really like this video, go ahead and hit that like button, the subscribe button, because it's really gonna help our algorithm and whatnot. So till the next time, over and out, Team SoCal.